Welcome, everybody. This is After Midnight Noodles, KO Slime. We are playing Vintage Story today. I wanted to do a quick video log of our Vintage Story playthrough, our compound here. We pretty much soaked up all the content in this game. This was our first playthrough. Me and my buddy had a server and, I think we might start again. We might tweak some of the settings. We might add some mods. But this was our first playthrough, and I wanted to do a quick video tour of our compound here. We put a lot of time and effort into this place, and we kind of learned as we went. And so let's just do a quick little recap of the story here. So this is Spawn, and we started off in this location. And nutshell story is, we kind of did our first bit of the game in this area. We, we did our copper age after stone. We found clay around here. We got lots of sap. Um, we kind of lucked out, and this spawn is sitting on a bunch of hematite. So by the time we went through copper, bronze, and got to the Iron Age, it was quite simple for us to gather a lot of hematite and move on to steel and so on. Um, South of us, we had a nice valley where we found lots of fruits and veggies and pine forests for sap. Even further south, this is a lime desert, which came in handy. We ended up finding a halite dome, which, if you've ever seen one of them, if you find one, it's pretty cool. It's enough salt to supply a massive server and then some. So between two people, we were pretty set with that. So we traveled for a while south, and we got to the first boss. We beat the first boss. We came back. We got our elks. We went east towards the next location, which took us to this area over here in the far east. And this is where you find the Lost Village. And we made a little bit of you know, a secondary home over here. We did some prospecting and some farming and went on to do the final mission in the devastation. And then after the devastation, we went to Tobias's cave. And then we came back here, we packed up all our stuff, and we moved back home. And the idea was to just kind of live out the rest of our days here until there was more content, and or basically pack up our stuff and head like really far south. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm probably just going to start again. Anyway, let's get on with the tour while we still have some daylight. So, this is the bird's eye view of our compound, and I'll just point with my cursor at the different things, and then we'll go look at them in more detail after. So in the middle, that's our starter survival home. It started off as just a little tiny mud hut, and it over the course of the game turned into what you see. To the left of that is all of our forging and smelting areas. We have different furnaces and whatnot, our kilns and such. In the front of the survival house, we have our main farm area, which was in the beginning, it was a pond, and we kind of just turned it into what you see. We then have the barn, a greenhouse, we have a berry farm, an orchard. Beyond the orchard, we can see the bee farm, and then there's a bar there. It's a pub, and then beyond the pub, there's a fortress slash mob grinding farm for when you get the temporal storms. Okay, so let's do it. So we'll go start off at the survival house, and we'll kind of go in the order in which things were kind of built. So over here we've got the survival house. Um, you know, there was no plan to this house at all. It started off as like a mud hut, and then we just kind of expanded as we went. So when you come in here, you've got a nice open concept kitchen. Lots of room over here on the side for your shelves, so you can store various different items. We've got a 3x3 hearth. Um, it's really nice to have 3 clay ovens in a row like this, and you can do your cooking and smelting pretty simple here. Nice little table set up for some cheese and some rye or perry or wine. These are all the tools hung up there. This is our first smelting area and forging area. This got us through to the copper and to the Bronze Age. So we got some shelves on the side and room for our molds. And we have a chest full of metal. And this is a chest full of various different woods. We have our quench. We have a wall of chests. Every good survival home needs a decent wall of chests for storage. So different things in here. Lots of seeds. We have extra storage there, extra storage in the corner. We've got double quern here. So once we got the hang of the game and we moved on, we just kind of, started off as this little box here, and then we just kind of added on and then made it like an L. And then in the back here, we've got the workshop. And then we also have the second floor, which was added after. So this is like the treasure room. Every good survival house needs a treasure room. And we collected all these treasures throughout the world. We have a chest full of clothes, extra bags, various different items in here. This is our bed, one for Inspecta, one for Chaos Slime, and just some display cases with different treasures, extra armor sets, weapons. These are the OP bags, and I just took them off at the end because I was just kind of exploring caves and trying to find teleporters and whatnot, and I didn't want to like die and lose them stupidly, so I can kind of cave hop without worry using these other bags because we have a ton of leather, and I'll show you the barn after this. So that's that. We got the bottom floor, we got the treasure room upstairs, and then we have this back area is the end game forging area. We built a windmill. So if you come back up in the treasure room, there's a door here that leads to like a terraced roof, and you can see the windmill. So it's a double windmill. We've got our chimney for our hearth, which, it doesn't produce smoke, but in theory. So the windmill comes down, and this evolved as we went to. At first, it was just one quern in the middle, but then we expanded. We have a double quern here, one of each color, and that's very useful. So you can just switch them, get them to both work, just have one working or none working. In this one here, it's hard to get the hitbox, but there's the hitbox, and that's for a double Helve Hammer. And then if you want to do this pulverizer, now I didn't engineer a way to like do these separately. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out with where we are. But I think in my next build, I will definitely make it so that these are all separated and shit. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, it works. You can get everything done. Okay, so that's the main survival house. Nice nice little spot. Nice little spot. Spent a lot of time here. I mean, this is all automated here. You just throw in what you need. And we've got a double forge here, double anvil. We never actually did make a steel anvil, but I suppose we could do that at some point if we ever continued to play. Right. Let's move on because there's lots more to show. Oh, I should show the downstairs, but we'll get to that because it's like a whole labyrinth, like connected like a bunch of stuff. So, all right. So, survival house, and then back here we've got the firewood, nice little park area. This is originally where we had our kiln, but I decided to move it to the other side after a while so that we could build this here end game pub. And we'll get to that. Yeah, the sun's going down, so we're going to lose daylight on this. I should have started early morning. That's all right. Yeah, so this is the garden. It's pretty self-explanatory. Other side of the garden, we have the barn. And the barn, we've got goats, or rams, sorry. They are mostly producing milk for us to make cheese. And then we also have a bunch of pigs. And it just got to the point where it's like, if you want supper, go get a pig. These are our elks, Curly and Mo. And, or sorry, Pepper and Walter. That's the names, Pepper and Walter. We didn't get to name all these guys, but yeah, this is a barn. Pretty straightforward, but big enough so that we can have more animals if we wanted, or kind of use the two different pens here to shoo different generations back and forth, so it's easier to kill them when necessary. Here, this was just a smorgasbord. I really just wanted milk and cheese from those goats. On this side, we have the chicken farm, and this was kind of my buddy's project for most of the game. And we have just about all Generation 10s. There's a couple Generation 8s left, but there's 9s and 10s in here. Mostly 9s and 10s, I would say, which is pretty awesome because it takes a long time to get up to that point. But yeah, lots of eggs and chicken and feathers from that. On down here, just so I don't forget to do this part, this is the refractory brick oven. We've got tier 2 bricks. This is where we made our steel. So a very convenient operation. This is our end game kiln. Originally it was on the other side of the house, but towards the end I stuck it over here to make room for better builds. This is our bloomery. Originally we had our first chicken coop here, but we learned that it was too close to the house and the chickens were too scared to roost their eggs, so we had to move it. And we did have the bloomery in the old chicken coop, but then it burned down tragically. So then we just built this thing here, and yeah, this works pretty good. And on this side, we've got the beehive kiln. Again, we didn't build this until the very end, and I kind of wish I had built it earlier in the game, just because it's so much easier to make like massive amounts of clay items. So I was saving up materials to do like an end game mega build using mostly limestone, chalk, and high end blocks. And I was going to make some kind of like, Tower of London castle thing, but I've kind of run out of motivation on that. So back here we've got our end game charcoal pit. That was built towards the end. This is the coke oven snuck back here. This over in this corner is I didn't build this to the end either, and I wish I would have built it in the beginning because this is awesome to use for temporal storms. In the beginning, we were literally just running to the cellar and drinking wine until we were plastered drunk every time. But once I got this here built, oh man, that was a game changer. I mean, um, yeah, because like during a storm, this is 3 levels and it's separated by this moat. And so you just like turn this down and you can come up here if you want. And we've got, we got some food up here. I was hungry anyway. And, we got some wine. I'll have a glass of wine and watch the temple storm. You can also get to the roof. And yeah, I was just playing around with the chiseling. I mean, I chiseled this here flagpole and the flag. Probably could have made it a little bit taller so it was visible more from the ground. But yeah, you get a good view of the area. And then in the basement, so you got your lounge, and then you got your ground floor. Then you got the basement floor, and down here it's like a little spot, and the monsters fall in the pit, and you can just kind of stab them with this here, and it works pretty good. So that's the mob grinder. Very simple design. Um, yep, functional. That's what it is. Got some extra berry bushes here. Now let's yeah, this is like the end game garden. We got our pile of salt. I was very proud to have found that. It took me a long time to find that salt dome, and once I did, I was really happy that I did. Yeah, this is the bar, and I just want to show you it now before it gets completely dark. So this is a design. I'll probably do a building episode on this maybe at one point because I pretty much mapped out exactly the amount of resources you'll need for this and where all the blocks go. And the only thing I would change, what I would do plain plaster blocks and then add your own beams because this is kind of like, I don't know. I did this because I wasn't really sure exactly what blocks to use, and so, but next time I would do plain plaster and then add your own beams to get that effect. I'll come back to that and we'll do the inside in a minute. I just want to get over to this side and make sure I get these in. So this is the apiary, I guess you call it. And, this is just a bunch of beehives. I recently just harvested them, so they have to regrow. And then we've got our orchard here. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it goes back quite a few blocks. I planted them way too close together. But anyway, we got like some of each tree there, which is really nice. And then in this back corner, we've got the greenhouse. And this has full terra preta. I mean, that is just really impressive. I love this. It's probably one of my favorite things about our entire um, compound. It's friggin' perfection. Looks like red velvet cake or something, chocolate cake. Okay, all right. So let's go to the cellar, and the cellar is one of my favorite parts because it connects both of these builds, basically. So yeah, like I want to show you the interior of that, but that's like end game, trying to save best for last. The pub. Let's go back in here. So this is the survival house. We got our blue cheese. That's end game flex right there. And then so this is the cellar. And it started off as just this room here, and it was actually up a floor. So this is the first cellar. Towards the end, we turned this into mostly just grain, and this is where we kept our hides for some reason. But this is mostly a grain cellar, and our first little couple rounds of wine. And then I think it expanded down this way. And we have our brandy rooms. So this is just like all liquor, pretty much. And we've got a horde of meals up here. So yeah, this is the brandy room. And on this side we have the moon is made of cheese. It's a cheese room. And so yeah, it's like wall to wall cheddar. And we also have veggies, pickled veggies, and just regular old veggies. All the different veggies, lots of soybeans, pickled soybeans, onions. This is where I was making milk and cheese. So yeah, eventually we got the blue cheese, which is awesome. It was hard to get that, but we got it. Yep. And I may as well show you that so I don't forget. This is the blue cheese room. So this is kind of like you got to build this in a specific way. Not this part, but this part here. It's got to be built on this like L, and it has to be like not a cellar with like one block open to the air. So anyway, this is the blue cheese cellar, and I just kept these here as like an end game flex, but maybe I should move them upstairs and display them. But it works, and it's awesome. So yeah, blue cheese. So basically, it has to be void of light completely back here, and it has to be cold. So it's got to be negative, like -1 at least. So yeah, but maybe I should actually move this to the cellar now that it's done, because it'll just go bad because this isn't actually a cellar, even though it's got 18 years. I wonder if it makes a difference. Maybe we'll just leave one here as a flex. So I don't really care. I don't think we're going to play this game again. But yeah, this is kind of like a scary looking area. I'll just put this back down in here for now. If I have room. I do not have room. Okay, well, we'll just go on. This is just a back weird area. I don't know what you would call this, but just like a basement room. But yeah, it's connected. That's the cool part about this whole thing. So then basically you can go down here. This hallway is the tavern, and this hallway connects to the basement of the tavern. And yeah, I was making linen and stuff down here, and this is mostly cheese and fruit. Look at the wall of cheese. This is just amazing. Oh, I'm so good at this game. So yeah, this is yeah, apple cider. May as well have a drink. Why not? Get drunk. We are going to the pub, and after all, so yeah, this was overflow wine and cheese. We got meats here, cured meats, lots of fruits, apples, pears have been made into perry, and then into like a pear brandy. And this here connects to, yeah, this connects to the ground floor of the tavern, which is kind of like a bakery. So I'll just go back outside so we can orientate ourselves a bit better. So yeah, the pub. So that's probably my coolest feature is the original cellar connects to the end game tavern. So we got our sign. Yep. We got different colored vessels and planters and different different pieces of clutter for decoration. And we come in here and we've got our bakery. And this place is yeah, again, like I'll do a build video on this because I built this house what 3 times in this game because when we moved east to find the lost village, I built a smaller version of this, took it on the road, and then when I came back I was like, okay, well, I want to build that again, but I want to make it like really, nice. So yeah, access to the basement. Um, Again, a three-tiered clay oven, room for actual baking. You can put a lot of pies out here, uh, which that's what I was doing, was making lots of pies. Got extra storage here. Got some bread on the shelves. Extra storage for blocks and whatnot. We got the OP bed, which is lets you sleep for 9.5 hours. Um, Worth trying to find these in the world. Uh, yeah, so I'm really happy with this basement or this bakery. And then we come up into the bar, and I'm very happy with this bar. And somehow we got chickens in here, but anyway, they can stay for now. So yeah, this is the tavern. So this was just kind of like a chiseling experiment, free for all. Um, yeah, chiseled the bar, use different materials to get the point across. So you can come back here, and we got some beer taps, and I made this here stove, and there's extra storage. This is where we were keeping um, our temporal gears and our like gold and silver and whatnot. And yeah, just various pieces of decoration. I chiseled this little sink here. I chiseled these shelves and spot to cook. And then also I chiseled this here table, and I chiseled this table, and then I chiseled this table and these chairs. So I was just experimenting. And then I chiseled here this their wall, and it was just kind of like a template. I was gonna maybe do the rest of the tavern, the inside of the tavern like this. I didn't get around to it, but I think if I gave it a little bit more time, I would do that because it would definitely make the place pop, I think, or at least something like that. So that's the fish wall. We got an OP shield there, red ornate black bronze shield. Ooh, very nice. We got, the end game friggin' stuff in here. Um, Chiseled that table, chiseled these here bar stools, and there's a balcony so you can overlook the compound. We made this here well. We got double teleporters here, which you can use once every 20 days because it's really hard on the honker. And I think that's just about it. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. That there is just a redwood. We got one redwood or one wet redwood seed, planted it there on top of that mat. It was like a hill, and I turned the hill into a like a castle barracks looking thing. But it ends up being a really nice view of the compound. So that's it. Um, that is our first vintage story playthrough, and I highly recommend to anyone who's uh, craving a really cozy, creative game to 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 give this one a go. It's still in development. Um, you can do so many things. I mean, the crafting and survival mechanics in this game are, I would say, some of the best of all the survival games I've played. Really dives into like how it would be done in the real world. The process of things takes a while to and just to get to making copper and then making bronze and then going through the Stone Age and having to nap all your tools and make your clay pots and like all these things. I literally placed every pixel of each one of these things. Um, and it really adds to the like once you get to this point and you look back at it, it's like I literally chiseled every little piece of this table. I friggin' chiseled every little piece of this here um, mug and cup and bowl, and you know, so yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I inspired some people to pick up this vintage story game and explore, build, craft, and learn. I learned a lot playing this game. I learned a lot about like geography and how minerals and metals and rocks and different forms of rocks are formed and whatnot. Really, really, really cool game. Really, really cool. And yeah, so I may as well put on my dinnerware and we're gonna go downstairs and have a brandy and cheese party. Or maybe we'll just sit right here. Actually, this is the best. Look, you can sit like this. Wait, like, oh wait, I need to get on this here proper. Wait, look at this. Okay, now, yeah, pretty close.